Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are building Cherry's house because they're moving out. So if you're excited, please like the video. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. And if you find yourself coming back here every week, it would be amazing if you subscribe. And remember to ring the bell notifications so that you get notified whenever I upload. Yes, so like I said, we are building Cherry's house. I was struggling with it, everything. Like when I started doing the roofing, I thought the house was boring, so I wanted to change it. I was struggling a lot with it, and then I realized the sides of the house aren't even, and it kind of bugged me. And I really wanted to use those windows because I love them, but we ended up going with something else. So if you're wondering where we're living, we are living in San Sequoia because I felt like Cherry, as wanting to be the president of the Sims world, would want to move to a place where there's a lot of families, there's a lot of people, where she can have an influence. As being a mom herself, maybe she can play with that card. And yeah, so I just started to build the house. It's very red, but there's still room for mint in the house, and then obviously for our new baby that we will be having. Because we ended up living in San Sequoia, I decided maybe I should go for the stuff that we got with the pack, and it ended up looking really cute, I have to say. I still think the roofline is a little bit boring, but it's a block, so yeah, it just had a big thing. But we ended up making a nice garden space, play place for them to just enjoy. There's a whole part for new baby to play, and grandma made some stuff for them, but I'll tell you more about that when we get there. Yeah, here I'm just trying to figure out what I can use that is very red that would look good with this house and would not end up making me not wanting to live here. So what is red and what is cute? I really like the bright red, but I ended up going with I ended up putting all three of the columns onto each other, and then I couldn't realize why the columns were glitching. Yeah, that sounds like me. I made that little nook there in the back for Cherry's office, and the only reason why I made the nook was so that the roofline could look more interesting than it did. And I do end up deleting all the columns that I added, but I ended up going with the San Sequoia, or what do you call it, the growing together fence as well for the house, because I wanted to make it cohesive and look good. And it's a bunch of different reds that you end up with, but it ends up looking alright in the end. So here I'm taking out all the columns, realizing that I made a big mistake. I was trying to see if it would look better if the stairs were smaller, but it didn't. It looked kind of weird. Yeah, and here I chose the color of the house. That new growing together wall siding was really nice for me. I wanted to make the roof white at one point because I was thinking like Santa, you know, and then it looked too much Santa, so I changed it back. Yeah, I think I also tried to like keep it I wanted to make the power supply less, but I didn't end up going with that. And here I wanted to put something on the other side of the roof just so that it looked evened out, because this side has the little bump out and the other side has nothing. Actually, it has two bump outs, because this whole front part is also kind of a bump. Here I'm looking for fences to try, ending up going with the San Sequoia one, I think. I also added a pool because I think for most basic reasons, it's the easiest way to have fitness in your house, and it's also a good way to get fun up. So I decided maybe I should just add a pool, and then I should just go from there and see how I can work with it in the end to be a good part of the house. Oh yeah, and I used this spa day glowing thing to make it even more red, because I wasn't going to change the water to red. It kind of looked like blood then, and I wasn't for that. I tried it, I just didn't stick. And I added a fence so that, toddler can't get to the water on their own. Eventually, when the baby is a toddler. I think right now we just know she's pregnant. Yeah, and then I wanted to make this outside a place where both Mint and Cherry can enjoy it, as well as little baby who has not been born yet. So I wanted to make it pretty and peaceful and playful. All those words. I ended up making a little sand pit here for the baby so that they could play in it eventually. I kind of want us to get all the toddler skills and stuff with the baby, because this is going to be an astronaut. So they have to be fit, they have to be mentally, they have to be smart. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I ended up adding a lot of toys and things that they can play with, so that in the end we can maybe find it easier to max out the toddler skills and the child skills. I felt like Mint would have made that for the baby. She would we're gonna talk a lot of space, we're gonna add this here, gonna play with it, and we're just gonna have this cool rocket toy what do you call it, dollhouse here. And that one too, I also feel like that is all Mint would be like, yeah, I'm making the child some sciencey things that they could play with, and then we can just have a lot of fun, because I feel like Mint will eventually leave her job. When she's an elder, she would retire, and she will become the baby's caregiver for a while. So I feel like she would be making all these toys and stuff so that baby could play, and it would just be fun for them. Here I was trying to figure out how I want to do the terrain paint, because I was busy with terrain paint. So yeah, I started to do that, and I made this little gate here at the end, at the backyard, because there's like a park just down there. So I thought that maybe they could go to the park and they could just leave through the gate. Easy access. There's the park, you can see a little bit of it in the left corner. Yeah, this is on the I can see the name of the thing. It's something cottage. But yeah, it is on that small lot there, because I didn't want Jerry to have such a big house that like Mint had, because it would always be just her, maybe one other adult, and the baby. So there wouldn't be that big of a house needed for them to stay. They would always be just a small family. And I felt like I got a little lost in the big house that Mint had. And now I don't have the money that I had for Mint, because I decided that I'm gonna give the house to Sonia and Freddie, and so that they can maybe have babies and things like that, so that they can grow in the house. But to give them the house, I also gave them like 200,000 simoleons. So we ended up with 200,000 simoleons, and I feel like that is a big part of what's gonna happen for us in this. Like, we need to try to make the money less, because we end up with the orange gen, who has to live on a paycheck, a month-to-month paycheck. So we need to kind of cut the money, and I felt like that was a good way to already cut a bunch of it. It's just giving it to Sonia and Freddie. And they can live in the big house, where I kind of started to feel a bit overwhelmed. In general, I like to play in houses that's just one level. The reason for that is simple. I don't like to travel up and down with the camera the whole time. It's not that I'm lazy, it's just like it's too much. It gets to be too much, because when you're looking for a sim, they can either be upstairs or downstairs or outside. So it kind of, just for functionality, for me it's better to just play on one level houses. So it's actually a thing in South Africa, like in the old days when people had really big yards, they actually built their houses out and not up, so they were mostly on one level. Like if you look in the old farm houses and the old town houses, most of them are like on one level, and that was really a thing, that people's yards were so big they was building out instead of up. But in recent years, in cities especially, people start building up, because obviously the space got smaller, yards got smaller, everything like that. No, they didn't build those houses just to make the yards smaller. It's just in general, cities always had smaller yards. It's just an interesting fact for me. Here I'm just changing the path because I felt like it looked stupid, and switching around the little, what do you call those things in English? Oh, slides. Yeah, so if you don't know, English is my second language, so I do struggle with it sometimes. Here I was deciding on all the rooms and what the colors would be. I wanted to have a bit of yellow and red in some of the features, like that bathroom. Cherry already has a very red bathroom there, so I decided that I'm gonna then make the other bathroom a little bit more to the yellow side, like it will have red and yellow in it. So I used the Jungle Adventure tile in that one. Here the red wood just, it didn't look good for me, and it was overwhelming, so I changed it to a dark wood, which I thought would match the red well. Yeah, and some cottage living walls there. Here I wanted to add that, but I felt like it's got too much, and the red fire truck crafting table was, I feel like, Cherry's little thing to also build her child something, because mom built all the rocket things we were pretending, and she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna build baby also something to play with, and she built the red fire truck because it represented her redness, and also city, president, fire, all those things go together, and I felt like it was just a cute thing from Cherry. So I just wanted to, I wanted the house to be comfy and cozy, and I didn't want the red to be like overwhelming, because like I said, red can easily get to be very overwhelming, and at this point I could still, I still love this house. I think I did a good job here, if I have to say so myself. I didn't want to clutter that doorway too much, because I felt like it wouldn't work that well. It would just be overwhelming at one point. I added closets for everybody, like the get-together closets, because I felt like then you don't have to add a dresser, you already have a whole wardrobe. Yeah. With this I didn't move the window up. I tried to, but I ended up not doing it. I know it's clipping into the cabinet, but the clipping looks better than the window that's all the way up to the wall. That's what I decided. So that is why the window is basically clipping through the counter, and I didn't change it. And at first I wanted to do cabinets all over, but I decided that also doesn't look good, so we end up changing that too. Yeah, and I was trying to find curtains, but the curtains all, yeah, there I tried it out and I decided no. All the curtains wants to clip on top of those windows. And I didn't understand it because that is a window that they're supposed to like clip to in the right place, but everything wanted to sit above it. Everything except this little plant thing. So now they have planty windows. I do end up finding curtains and just adding them in. Here I was trying to find a nice like lights for the house because like I say, red is a very overwhelming color and there's also not a lot of red things in the house. I decided to move Cherry's door over because I wanted to do the living room right there, and in that way there's enough space for a small living room and a small dining area. So that was my initial thought with moving the door over, is just so that there is more space. And I kept the doors white because the windows and everything is white. I know that's a bunch of different wood colors in this house, but it doesn't bother me. I like the white doors more than the yellowy color they come in as well. And I wanted to stick with the outside windows, which is also red and white, so I didn't want to change that too much. Yeah, here I was trying to figure out lights because the lights just didn't look good for me, and it looked kind of stupid with the two lamps on the side of that, so I ended up changing it to be something different. But yeah, I have to say I was struggling finding good red lights, and in the end I think I left that one there, but I did change the lights as well, and I used that little paranormal tray there. And here I was frustrated with the mirrors being so high up. I mean, if the Sim stands in that mirror, all they would see is their chin. Then why would you have such a big mirror there if you can only see from your chin up? I mean, that's ridiculous. And I ended up adding the star mirror because it was fun, and it added a little extra lighting into the room. It's not a lot, but it is there. As I found stuff that I wanted to add outside, I do switch around a lot because I wanted to keep it nice and I wanted it to look like a family is living there. Yeah, I really like that outdoor heart thing with the wood. Yeah, here I was looking for something to put on that table, but it was so hard to just find something. I don't even know if we keep that plant, to be honest. I wanted to add a tray on the bottom part, or like those boxes or stuff, but it didn't slot into that slot that's there because that slot is ultimately just for small things apparently, and it kind of bugged me because yeah, I feel like it's normal to put like a tray of something there and not the llama that your kid can break or yeah, I just felt annoyed at that moment that nothing wanted to fit there. Yeah, I ended up with the cottage living table and chairs because I felt like it looked cute. It brings in again the dark wood of the floors a little more, and I was at this stage using so much different color woods that I just went for it. And in the end I feel like it did look nice, so I didn't change anything. I didn't change the walls, the doors or anything. And I ended up going with that red light because I felt like it's the smallest. That's the other thing, all the wall lights, the ones that you mount on the wall, is so big. Why? I changed that light as well. Why do they need to be so big? I mean, that's essentially why you go for a small light on the wall, is you want it to be small. I think everybody's getting eco lifestyle beds because they look the best for me. I almost went with that Lux Party thing there, cubes for the side tables, but no, I ended up with the paranormal ones because I felt like, oh no, I didn't. The bowling back ones, because I wanted it small again. Another thing that's really big is side tables in this game. Like, I felt like the side tables was taking up half the bed at that point, so that's why I didn't go with it. I added different plants on the side of the side tables because nobody's side tables look exactly the same. Like, one person would have this stuff on it and the other one different stuff. Yeah, here I just wanted to add the little details to the kitchen as well. Again, bringing in the dark wood from the floors. To be honest, I didn't even regard the tiny living stuff as a different wood color. I just thought, this looks nice here. So that's why I ended up just going with it. And I always size those pans down because they look like they're way bigger than the Sims are. So yeah, I ended up sizing them down. Yeah, just moving those so that they're in the right places. Adding some details outside because I felt like we needed some things here. Like we have this area where we can grill and eat. So now we have a little pool, a splash pool for the baby. And then suddenly I'm back in Cherry's room trying to figure it out. Yeah, here I was thinking maybe we should have like some activity for the adults to do outside too, other than eating and swimming. So I added the punching bag because I felt like maybe that's something that they would like. And that bonsai tree I added as well because I felt like it's gardening skill and flower arranging. So yeah, they can do that. Here I'm building Cherry's little work nook area. And that's the book nook, what do you call those things? Bookcases. Yeah, I ended up going with that city living lamps. It's not my favorite in the game, but they gave off the most light. So I went with them. And I started adding pet stuff because I feel like Cherry would get a cat now. Maybe after we have the baby we can get a cat as well, you know, so that we can have a baby and a cat to take care of. I always change the little bowls around so that they look nice for that bed feeders thing. I felt like the cat didn't want to eat next to its poop, so I put the plant in between and the cat bed in there. And here I added some place where she can hang up pictures. And yeah, we end up going, I think, for the bathrooms next. First saving, because I realized at this point I haven't saved anything, and I was like 3 to 4 hours into building and I didn't save anything. Yeah, I wanted to add that. That is like the weirdest red bathtub you could get for me that doesn't look overwhelming, and it's from the new Growing Together pack. And I just kept the toilets and everything, I kept it cohesive, so everybody has kind of the same mirror, toilet and sink. The only thing that changed is the big bathroom, the guest bathroom, the house bathroom also has the bathtub, so it's this one. And the only reason I did that was because when you have infants and toddlers and things, you need to bath them in the bathtub. So I ended up putting a bathtub in this one. But the rest all look the same. I think Eventually I will change Mint's bathroom to have her decontamination shower that we got from her work, but yeah, I first need to move them in to do that, and that would be the most mintiest thing to do, is just put a decontamination science tower in there. Yeah, just added little details and things. I really like those bath mats that we got with the bathroom clutter kit, because it's just so realistic. I mean, nobody wants to step on cold tile floors in the middle of winter. It's cold and slippery when wet. I gave the dolls like electric toothbrushes just for fun. Not that they use those, just since we could start putting things on the back of the toilets, I also always put an extra roll of toilet paper there, because I feel like it's realistic in a way. Here I decided that their room is gonna be space, so I ended up adding the little astronaut light for them, and then I was trying to be okay with the green bed and the green and yellow thing, but it just I didn't like the aesthetic of it, and I felt like adding another color variation is just too much, so I ended up going with the pink because it kind of goes with the red. It actually goes very well with the red, it's kind of the same color. Just add a little white to get the pink. But yeah, I ended up going with the pink crib and the pink diaper changing table because it just felt like it fit the room a little better. I don't even know what gender the baby is at this point, and yeah, I didn't feel like it would matter because in general I do not like to add colors to genders. I get mad when people do that. So here I was just like, no, I'm just gonna make it pink and yellow because I feel like the pink fits with the red of the rest of the house better than the green does. And to bring the green in is adding, I know all the plants are green, but it's adding another different color into the house, and I just realized that those window curtains are not put in right. I will change that. Here we are starting with Mint's room. It's also the last room in the house. I did add CarlitoCharm in because our CarlitoCharm disappeared into thin air, so eventually when I move them in I will just add it to the element collection. We did complete the collection in the game. It's not that I'm cheating, I just want it to be, I want the collection to be complete in the collection thingy. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions, I would gladly read your comments about it and maybe respond to them. And if you're not yet subscribed, it would be amazing if you subscribe and ring the bell notifications so that you get notified whenever I upload. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I do add lights in Mint's bedroom. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Bye!